NACDL is the association of the nation's criminal defense bar.
So we're going to talk about parallel construction today, also known in some circles as evidence laundering. The government goes and it does thing A as part of its investigation, but it doesn't want to disclose that to you, the defense attorney, or to the court. Maybe it's worried that that'll be ruled unconstitutional or violating a federal statute or something. So instead it goes and does thing B and gets some of the same information or evidence or something it can use or wants to use, and then pretends that thing A never happened. A federal agency, such as the DEA, gets a tip from some source. Maybe it's a surveillance program, maybe it's a human source, could be anything. And they ring up local law enforcement and they say, find a reason to pull over a car matching this description. Develop your own probable cause, without really necessarily even telling them anything more. Local law enforcement goes and does this, gets consent to search the vehicle or search the person. And then as far as the defendant knows, that's how the case started. It was with some minor traffic infraction, or maybe nothing at all. But the traffic stop and the subsequent search, you don't find out about that DEA tip. You don't find out about whatever was underlying that DEA tip. I have seen, and we have in our possession, examples of be on the lookout orders that are bulletins that go out to law enforcement saying, look out for this person, or look out for a car with this license plate, and then develop your own probable cause.
Is our community safe, or is law enforcement still on the search for other suspects who might be involved in this attack?
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do believe our community is safe.
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do believe our community is safe.
Please get that information out there. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward. Call the tip line. Report anything you know about him to help the investigators and eventually our office and the court system understand fully everything there is to know about not only the individual, but what happened and why.
What we're actually seeing here is a public appeal for dirt on Kohberger post-arrest. This assumes guilt even before the trial begins. This is not good, Billy boy. It actually violates the presumption of innocence, and you know this. So let's start with the statement, please get that information out there. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward. And this being said, immediately following an arrest does raise a bushy eyebrow. The press conference occurred on December 30, 2022, the same day Kohberger was arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary. At this stage, the focus should have been on the evidence supporting the charges, but instead it was a complete and utter character assassination. Hardcore. The distancing language. Thompson's use of our office instead of I is textbook damage control, attempting to diffuse responsibility for what he knows is an ethically compromised request. Then we have this really strange admission of ignorance, where he says, help us understand what happened and why, which I believe is the prosecutor's confession that they don't have a coherent theory of the crime. They don't know what happened and they don't know why. You don't make an arrest in a capital case based on a genetic genealogy hit alone and then crowdsource your case theory. Hey dudes, let's help make a case. Let's help frame Bryan Kohberger, because we don't know who he is and we don't know why he committed the crime. Who the hell is he? We don't know. It's pretty damning. So this is obviously Thompson's appeal isn't seeking witness or evidence. It's soliciting dirt. digging up the dirt. The phrase anything you know about him, anything, any old shit, anything you know about him, guys, just let me know. It's an open invitation for a character assassination. And what I find particularly gross is the fact that Thompson's desperate plea creates a toxic media environment where the defendant is presumed guilty by law enforcement. The public is actively recruited to provide damning information. The narrative, whether it's true or not, the narrative of guilt is established before any evidence is. Left to these guys, they wouldn't even have a court case. They would just trot him out to the firing squad, have him executed straight away. The frantic pleading tone reveals that the prosecution knows but won't admit that they arrested Kohberger without a real case. The IGG hit made him a suspect, but it was only meant to be a tip, and they lack evidence to prove guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Well, the prosecution's own words reveal the weakness of their position. When you have to ask the public to help you understand what happened after you've made the arrest, you've completely lost the plot. The language used by Thompson is concerning from a prosecutional ethics standpoint. These guys are seasoned professionals. They've been in their roles for a long time. I believe this is a frame-up. That's all for today's episode of Truth and Neurons. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the ethics of media commentary in high-profile cases. Until next time, keep thinking critically and questioning everything. Cheers, bye!